Hello, everyone. Good evening and welcome to Pharmahealthtalk. My name is George. I'm a pharmacist. I'm also the convener for Pharmahealthtalk. Pharmahealthtalk is a social platform um, with our presence on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter. And we encourage individuals, families, and our community to take responsibility and also to improve on their own health and well-being by providing information through collaborative approach and also evidence-based information, advice and guidance in order for everyone to make responsible choices leading to positive health outcome. Now, we actually are running the second session of our webinar series that is actually tagged Healthy Way to Healthy Eating. And today we presenting healthy and tasty food choices on budget. Now, I mentioned earlier on that we actually provide information on a collaborative approach. So we actually have collaborated with a registered nutritionist in the UK to bring this webinar across to you this evening. Now, this workshop, like I mentioned earlier in the first series, was meant to be a face-to-face workshop, but because of the lockdown, we are unable to do that. So we actually have reverted to, streaming it online. So feel free to share this on our Facebook platform, on our YouTube platform. Now, the workshop is based on guidelines. Um, so as to provide science or evidence-based information about food choices that will promote good health, especially in this pandemic and even beyond the pandemic. And like I said, it is targeted at the BIM community in and also, this will help you to make informed choices about your healthy weight and also to prevent disease. Also, everything you eat and drink over time really matters. And I would encourage that you feel free to listen to this webinar even after today. This will do you a lot of good. There's loads of information that is coming out to you on this. So permit me to, share the slides with you, the video of the webinar that has been put together by Paula Mohin. Paula Mohin is a registered nutritionist in the UK, and she will be bringing you your way this evening, healthy and tasty food choices. So guys, please permit me to share these slides as I locate them now and share them with you. Um, Hello, good evening, and welcome to Pharma Health Talk. My name is George. I'm the convener of the Pharma Health Talk, a social platform where we discuss about health and wellness, health and well-being, mental health, physical health, and we also help people to make informed decisions about protecting their health. Yeah, this is a webinar series that we actually have put together. The first one we ran in November, and this is the second of the webinar series that is running all through till March 2021. And this webinar series actually been put together to help our community make informed decisions about their immune system. As we all know that during COVID-19, a lot actually were linked to our immune system is actually affected by the coronavirus causing COVID-19. And this actually made us come up with this workshop. The workshop was actually meant to be a face-to-face workshop in the community, but because of the lockdown restrictions, we actually couldn't do this. So wherever you're watching this from, this is a pre-recorded webinar, and I actually want us to go through it together, participate, engage, and obviously give a feedback at the end of the webinar series. Now, my duty here is actually to give an intro. I have someone who is going to actually talk about the webinar for today, which is actually titled Healthy and Tasty Food Choices on Budget. So, guys, let's go through this. The intro, this virtual workshop replaces an originally planned face-to-face workshop that I mentioned earlier. And the workshop is targeted at the BAME community to help them build their immune system during COVID-19 and beyond, using a healthy nutrition to fight infectious disease such as the coronavirus. Now, the webinar series, actually started from November the 14th, and this is the second of the series running up to March 2021. Now, I use the acronym BAME before, and it stands for Black, Asian, and Minority Ethnic that are in the United Kingdom. Now, this Healthy Eating virtual workshop series will include 5 modules as a series and as a standalone modules, with each workshop introducing a simple healthy nutrition message towards building a healthy immune system. And our intended audience will include, but not limited to, BAME adults, families, also everyone in our community who has been encouraged to choose healthy eating. Now, estimated time for each of the webinar series will be 30 minutes. Recipes and useful materials can be downloaded from our website. Some of these useful materials, recipes are actually distributed in the community as well. Now, the webinar series topics, the first one that we had in November, the video is on Facebook and on YouTube. That was sustaining a healthy immune system using 6 nutrition, that actually was streamed online on the 14th of November 2020. Now, the second one is healthy and tasty food on budget. The third one, which is in January, would be fitness classes, 9th of January 2021 specifically. The other one running in February is losing weight and keeping in shape, 6th February 2021. And hopefully the last one of the series will be healthy cooking, and that will be end of project, which is on the 6th of March 2021. Now, the objectives of the webinar series is actually to help our community appreciate the use of 6 nutrition in sustaining a healthy immune system. That was the first one. Now, to further help our community and audience use recipe modifications and health cooking techniques to reduce calories, saturated and trans fats, sodium and sugars. We're also hoping that this webinar series will help our community identify steps for healthy eating on budget, including planning, purchasing, and preparation of healthy food, and to also help people appreciate healthier choices and how to read nutritional facts labels. And we also hoping that we'll be able to raise awareness on healthy lifestyle choices, including role of exercise, tips for losing body weight, with emphasis on body mass index for an ideal weight. Now, the facilitator for this webinar that will be streamed shortly is Paula Mohin. Paula Mohin is a seasoned nutritionist
with many years in the industry. Paula has worked with individuals, schools, sports club, and with people with specific medical condition. Now, if you still want to join or would want to participate in future webinars, please, you can check us out on our website, www.pharmahealthtalk.co.uk, and on YouTube as Pharma Health Talk. Or you can even send inquiries to info@pharmahealthtalk.co.uk. Also, please, at the end of the webinar, there is an evaluation form to complete. Please help us to complete that wherever you're watching from, to actually be able to make an analysis and see how this has helped people that have viewed. So sponsors for this project, the project has been made possible by the Coronavirus Community Fund, managed by the National Lottery Community Fund. We wish to express our gratitude to the government. So guys, wherever you're watching from, like I said, please tune in and let us bring Paula Mohin to share with us on this webinar that has been tagged LD and Tasty Food Choices on Budget. Thank you very much for watching. I will come back after the webinar to give like a short closing remarks. Thank you. Bye.
Hello, and welcome to the Healthy and Tasty Food Options session for Pharma Health Talk. My name is Paula Moen, and I'm a nutritionist. I've worked within the industry for many years with individuals in schools and also in a sporting environment. The overall aim of this session is to give you a better idea about healthy, tasty, cost-effective meals when it comes to your overall nutritional and health choices. So today we are going to talk about, these are our objectives. Healthy choices, what are they? What does it mean in terms of calories? What are the main nutrients that we need to consume to help us to actually make our healthy choices? How do we make our healthy choices tasty? And also how to stay on budget, which is really, really important. And remember, for me, as a health professional, remember, healthy choices are not a diet. It's not a fad. It's based on consuming a variety of all the food groups to maintain health. So always remember that healthy choices are not a diet. So what are the benefits? What are the benefits of healthy choices? Healthy choices helps us maintain a healthy weight, which then prevents diet-related illnesses like heart disease and diabetes. It gives us strong bones and teeth. It gives us better moods and energy. You've got to remember that our healthy choices when it comes to food is all about energy. Our body needs energy to survive. It's also great for our memory and our brain health. Because if we're not eating the right amount of foods and the right type of foods, you actually do get what's called foggy brain. So as I said earlier, we're going to talk about healthy choices, and I'm going to show you some examples of healthy choices a little bit further down. But now, what I really want to talk to you about is your calories. Let's have a look at calories, because that's what we intake. And this is what calories look like. A lot of people, I would have to say, would not consume the 2,000 calories that are up there, or the 2,500. Now, females need about 2,000 calories a day, okay? Active people, that is people that are getting up, going to work, gardening, moving around. Now, men need 2,500 calories. And as you can see there is a variety of food there. What I put underneath is 2,000 calories in 3 burgers. That doesn't look very appealing, does it? So what actually happens is you could get 2,000 calories from the 3 burgers down the bottom, or you could get 2,000 calories from all of those lovely, vibrant bright variety of food that's in one of those images. So what happens when we eat too much or too little? Well, we know when we eat too much and we don't move a lot, so when we intake calories and we don't expend them, we put on weight, don't we? So we've got excess calories, which we do not need. And the average person in the UK eats anything between 10 to 20% more than they need. That's a lot of food, and it's not the right type of food either. And if we eat too little, what we do is we deplete the body of its energy source. You've got to think of your body, think as a fuel tank. It is a fuel tank where we have to keep filling it up to get us going every single day. Think of like a car. If your car has no petrol in it, it's empty. A car doesn't run on empty. Neither do we. We do not run on empty. So the aim is for us to actually have balance in our intake to fuel and energize us throughout the day. So balance to me is like a seesaw. So the calories you bring in have to balance with the calories that you take out. So it's called expending. So it's a seesaw. It's a movable seesaw. It's never going to be dead straight because every day is different. So balance comes from a variety of different things. It comes from eating well. It comes from eating a variety of foods and also the right amount of calories for our activity level, depending on what you are doing. That's what makes it balance really, really important. So we've got how many calories we need to intake. So what types of foods and where do our foods actually come from is what we're looking for. So here it is. It's called macronutrients. Our foods are macronutrients. So carbohydrates is one of our big macronutrients. We need those for energy. It's things like pasta, rice, oats, rye and sourdough, wholemeal foods, potatoes, legumes, beans, lentils, and chickpeas. Now, the next macronutrient is protein. Really important. They are the body's building block. We need protein in our bodies for muscles, for our bones, our hormones, and also for our immune health. Really, really important. And one of the big ones that I've actually put in there is fruit and vegetables. They are full of vitamins and minerals, which actually support us. They support everything. They give us all of those other nutrients that our main ones don't give us, vitamins and minerals that support our body and also our immune health. Eat as many different colors as you possibly can. I put there green, spinach, broccoli, kale, peas, beans, orange, carrots, sweet potatoes, satsumas. So it's really important to get variety of these foods and also fats, good fats to support our overall health. Things like olive oil, avocados, nuts and seeds, oily fish, salmon, mackerel. Really, really important to get the omegas and omega-3s into our body. So from all of these, what we do is we as people, we eat with our eyes first. So it has to be visual. Whatever we put in front of us has to look tasty before it becomes tasty. So what do all of these foods look like? They have to look bright, colorful, and variety, because the way we visually see our food before we actually eat it is really, really important. With our fruit and vegetables, as much variety as you possibly can. With our carbohydrates, please don't be afraid of them because they actually have more energy in them than fats do. Gram for gram, carbohydrates are really, really important. Make sure that our fats are really good fats, not bad fats like cakes, biscuits, processed meats. Cheeses we can eat. Yes, they're part of the dairy group. They're so important for our calcium intake. But also, if you actually eat too much of it, so it's all about knowing what your limitations are with food and understanding how much food you should be eating. And the other thing that's really important with all of this, we've got all that visually bright and food groups, all of those, is hydration. Most people, again, in the UK, don't drink enough fluid. And you can drink fluid from hot drinks, your teas and your coffees and your fruit teas. I wouldn't count alcohol in there because it is full of sugar, but we need water. And we need water because of dehydration. We don't want to be dehydrated. It can make us really tired. Dehydration makes us tired. And when we are tired, we make poor food choices because we also get really, really foggy. So when our brain doesn't function very well, that's when we start to make poor food choices. So just remember, have a variety of all of these foods. They are so, so important. Make it bright, make it colorful, and also, it's bright and colorful. And have a look at your portion sizes. Have a look at how much of it you are eating on your plate. Because healthy choices doesn't mean that you have double the quantity of unhealthy choices. What it actually means is that you are actually portioning that out in conjunction to how hungry you are as well. So be aware of that. Be aware of how much of each of these foods you are eating. Just because they're healthy doesn't mean we eat more and more of them. There is one more group which nobody talks about, and we need to be aware of it. And it's not the most exciting of all of our food groups when it comes to healthy choices, but it's really important, and that's fiber. Fiber is so, so important for our bodies, and we get our fiber from our whole grains, beans, lentils. You get it from fruit, things like apples. You can get it from vegetables, broccoli, and also nuts, seeds, and berries. Evidence actually suggests that eating plenty of fiber, we can also call it roughage, is associated with lower risks of heart disease, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and also bowel cancer. There's huge medical evidence out there to say that how important fiber is in our body. So if you are making overall healthy choices and you are having a variety of the food groups that we talked about, you're on the right track. So the average individual intakes approximately 18 grams. So think of a really small handful of fiber a day, when recommendations actually suggest around about 30 grams. So you need to double up your fiber intake. How can you do that? Well, it's by eating a variety of foods. So, if you're having your fruits and you've got some nuts and seeds and you're having your vegetables and you are eating whole grain cereals and breads and pastas, you are getting the recommended daily requirements of fiber. So like hydration, a lot of people don't talk about them, but they are both, fiber and hydration are really, really important in our diet. So we've talked about all of the things that we need, all of the things that we want to have in our body. So what foods should we be avoiding? Now, I'm not saying to give them up completely, because I don't think anybody can, but use the word treat. I would use a lot of these foods as a treat and not often. I'm going to be really clear about that. It's not often. These are the foods to avoid. Why are we avoiding them? Because they are high in salt. They are processed. Processed foods have preservatives in them. Preservatives are to make food last longer. So it's not fresh. Saturated fats, the type of fats that clog our arteries, it's not good for heart disease. It's not good for our overall well-being. And it's the fat that we store. And that's when we start to actually see our weight change as well. And also really high in sugar. Things that are really, really high in what we call high refined sugars, they will actually give us short energy spikes. So you'll have these high sugar foods, you'll get this energy for a really short period of time, and then you actually have this dip again. So we're not sustaining our energy levels with them. So processed foods are really high in sugar, salt, and fat. And it's things like processed meats, ready meals, which are also high in salt and high in sugar, and takeaways. High salt foods are things which are really bad for cardiovascular health, as I've said. Crisps, nuts, again, takeaways, and ready meals. That's how they make them taste really, really good. And our high refined sugars, sweets and chocolate, if you're going to eat things like that, do it rarely. Really use them as a treat because you'll enjoy them more. Look at things like dark chocolate, melt a little bit of dark chocolate and just dip, maybe dip some fruit in there. It is really, really lovely. Doesn't mean the whole bar of chocolate. I mean, maybe just a little roll of chocolate. So these are the things that we should avoid and have very, very rarely. And I call them a treat. They are treat foods. So how does it look when we talk about foods to avoid and foods that we should have? I love this. This is quite an easy way to remember. We eat less of drink less carbonated drinks. Refined sugars, avoid artificial sweeteners and colors, because those flavors and processed foods, because what they do is they just add shelf life, and they've had lots of salt and lots of sugar in them, and we don't really need them. So what does that equal? CRAP. I'll leave that to you. And then we should eat more food and vegetables, organic lean protein, whether that be tofu or eggs or beef or chicken or fish. That is your choice. And things that have got omega-3 in them, foods. And that comes from our good fats, and especially our oily fish. And as we said, hydration is so important. Drink water, because we actually need that for our brain and brain function. Our body is made up of fluid, the majority. You dehydrate your body and you're going to start making poor, healthy choices. So what do? We've got all these healthy choices. We know it's all out there. So what do we need to do? There's a couple of steps that I would recommend to you. One is plan. Planning is key. It is king. This is a week. This is a week of recipes that we've actually given to you, and that will be available on the actual website, which is quite good. I've actually put this down as a whole week, and everything that's marked in yellow, I can use the next day if you have leftovers. So if you're not freezing them and you're not batch cooking, you can use them. So plan your day, plan your week out, because when you go shopping, and that goes to your budgeting. Budgeting is so important. But if you go in with a list and you've planned what you think you're going to have every week, you're going to save money. You're not going to be buying extra things that you don't want. And you're sticking to a really healthy choice week. And don't ever go shopping when you're hungry. Make sure you've had breakfast or you've had lunch, because when we are hungry and our brains a little bit low and we're a little bit dehydrated, we make poor food choices. And it happens. Research has shown that people that go in to a supermarket when they haven't eaten will actually buy extra things they don't need, so it will affect your budget, and they will buy and make poor food choices based on the fact that they are hungry. The other thing is, which is really important, so you've got your weekly plan, you've budgeted, you know what your budget is, you know what you need to do. You make sure you've got everything in your cupboards. Your store cupboard essentials, to me, are a savior, because you can learn to just pick things out of your cupboards and make amazing meals. So it's things like dried pasta, rice, beans, grains, canned tomatoes. Always have those. They're a staple. Tomato purees, fish, tuna, mackerel, oats, nuts, and even honey. Honey on your food is just amazing. It's better than actual refined sugars, but again, in small quantities, because it is still a sugar. And dried herbs. Always have dried herbs in your cupboard. My top ones are oregano, basil, thyme, cumin, chili, cinnamon, and allspice, and rosemary. And I've always got those in my cupboards, because it's really, really important to actually have them there, so you can just pick. You don't have to think too hard. And then you get into a role of knowing when and how to use these herbs. And we've given you some recipes where all these will come into play. Fresh essentials. This is where your weekly shop comes in really, really handy. Make sure you've got your fresh produce in. Fresh produce is amazing. I have always got onions, garlic, potatoes, spinach, peppers, carrots in my refrigerator. It is important. Buy your proteins based on what you're going to have that week. Don't buy extra unless you're freezing it, which is really, really important. And then the other thing is, be creative. Use your dried herbs. Use your fresh herbs, which are down here as well. In my fridge, there is always parsley, mint, and coriander because they go so well with so many different things. And being creative, we've given you some ideas for you to actually play with. But if you come up with any other ideas, please let me know, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. And when you can, batch cook. Batch cook your food. Always make that little bit extra, because to have a little something extra in the freezer for the days when you know you can't actually cook, it makes your healthy choices easier because you know it's there ready to go for you. So from all of that, I'm going to show you now. So we've got planning is key. Shop with a list. It's really important. Plan your week. Even if you don't stick to all of the week, even if you do 4 out of the 7 or 6 out of the 7 days, it will make a difference to your budget and your choices of food. Your store cupboard and herb essentials are really important. Your fresh essentials, shop for those weekly. Have a look at what you've got left over as well. And I'll show you what we do when I've got things left over. Here's some ideas for you. Okay. Leftover vegetables, when they start to go a little bit soft and a little bit squidgy, as I call them, I drizzle them with olive oil, some salt, and some chili. If I've got olives in the fridge, I toss all of that together. I even put broccoli in there, and I roast it in the oven, really quite low, for a long period of time. And you roast it. You can do lots of things with this. You can blitz it and make a pasta sauce that can be frozen. So there you go, there's some of your batch cooking. Or you can have it as a side with salmon or any of your proteins. Or even if you want to just toss it with spinach and grains and have a warm salad, that works really, really well. So I've used my vegetables from the week if I've got some left over. Other ones is just straight vegetable stir fries. You use things like fresh ginger, soy, chili, coriander, and lime. Just makes it zing at you. It's brilliant. And if you want to add protein to that, you do. Sometimes I just use what I've got in the fridge, which is just peppers, broccoli, beans. I've always got chili and ginger in my refrigerator as well. One of my favorite ones is my leftover green soup. When I've got spinach that's going a little bit welty and I've got some beans in there and I've got a leek left over, I mix it all together with a chicken stock. Now, you can do your chicken stock with leftover bones from a chicken roast, or if you've got good quality stock, you just mix all of that together and you cook it, and it makes a lovely soup served with some crusty bread. I don't think you can go wrong with it. And again, omegas, salmon. Try to have salmon or some sort of oily fish at least once a week. It's not a cheap option, but even if you do it once a fortnight and you can mix it up and you can use it on salads as well. I mix my leftover salmon with couscous and make a salad. And you can roast some new potatoes, or you can serve it with the leftover vegetables. So if you've already got things in your cupboard, you can actually cross over and mix these things, which is really, really important. So I'm going to show you now what a meal looks like, okay? This is what a meal looks like for me. We've got, and it's all really quite cost effective. And I've planned this into my week because I've used my weekly planner. Chicken thighs, great cut of chicken, really tasty, really moist. You mix that with some lemon, olive oil, garlic, and oregano, toss all that together, let it sit for about an hour. You can either grill it, you can bake it, or you can barbecue it. Some new potatoes. Get some new potatoes, drizzle olive oil and salt. If you want extra flavor, how about some paprika or maybe some rosemary? Mix that together and roast them in the oven. They actually end up tasting like fries. They're really, really yummy. A Greek salad. You've got feta cheese there, which is great calcium intake. You've got your tomatoes, cucumbers, olives, olive oil, lemon, and oregano. There's your dressing. That's what's going to make your healthy food taste and give it flavor. And then a yogurt dip. Again, here we've used full fat yogurt. Now, we haven't talked about diet or low fat products. As a nutritionist, it's really important that you eat your food in its most natural form. Anything that is diet or low in fat is actually being stripped back, and then it's had added sugars and salts and preservatives put in it to make it taste like the full fat option. So my suggestion to you would be always have full fat because you're actually getting the benefits of all those really good nutrients that your body needs. But you will need less of it, because when you eat diet products, you'll find that most people eat more of them because they're not as filling. So the yogurt dip, the recipe will be on the website. I use it with so many different proteins. I even sometimes just put it on salad, and it is squeeze of half a lemon juice, pinch of salt, some cucumber which you've grated and you've drained all the excess juice, some chopped mint, and then I sometimes add a tiny bit of honey just to sweeten it up. This meal, in our house, we actually serve it with pitters and pockets, and you actually stuff them, and you can actually make an extra green salad to go with it, or you could have it just as a salad. And it is a really healthy, great healthy options, all of them, because you've there mixed all of your nutrients. You've covered everything. It is a well-balanced meal. So for me, you will have this recipe on the website. We've given you other options as well. There is a great super mince, which can be frozen and batch cooked. There's a ratatouille, great soups as well, some breakfast options and also snacks. So look out for them. Give them a try, which, you know, the more you try different things, the better your palate will be as well. And the more creative you'll become, and you'll get a better understanding of what you like, don't like, and what suits your lifestyle, which is really important. So it's all about your lifestyle, your healthy choices, and also your budget. So remember, for me, healthy choices are easy, and they don't have to be boring or expensive. Nobody says you have to go and buy the most expensive product out there. Stick to your budget. So eat a variety of all of your food groups. Planning is key. Do your shopping list, plan your week. It's not always going to go to plan, but at least you know it's there. And if you've got things that are slightly going off, think about it. Be creative with them, like I've done with the roasted vegetables. They've gone a bit soft and squidgy. Let's roast them and make a sauce out of them. Store covered and fresh essentials, so important. Be prepared at home, because then you're not going to be making the last minute poor choices. And then batch cook where you can. Just wherever you can and you can freeze, batch cook, because then you can pull it out and have it again on another day. So for me, variety, planning, budgeting, and creativity equals really healthy, tasty foods. So for me, I hope that I've been able to give you some sort of inspiration as to how you can make healthy choices. And also remember, it's all about your eyes. Before we even eat, before we even think we're hungry, it's visually what we see that makes a huge difference. So I've loved sharing some of my ideas on how to make healthy choices with you. I hope I've inspired you a little bit to try some new things, try different things, try new flavors. And most importantly, they're not expensive. They're not expensive things for you to try. And just remember, a little planning and some extra flavor goes a long, long way. As I said, we put some of these great recipes for you on the website. There's a smoothie on there. There's a homemade granola, which is so much better than shop-bought cereals. There's a super salad. There's a soup. There's a spicy ramen soup. The Greek chicken's on there for you. You can simplify it like I've done here, or you can use there. It's got a lovely lemon rice that goes with it, some salmon, super mince, and also lots of snack ideas, which will actually help you get through the day. So for me, I'd love to hear how you're getting on. I'd love to hear your thoughts on what I've suggested. If you've got any ideas, please let me know, and I will try to find anything for you. Just remember, don't go omitting and changing things because you think that you need to do it. If you feel that you need to change things, please talk to a health professional about it before you go and make drastic changes, because we all need a variety of all of those food groups to, most importantly, fuel our bodies to give us energy to keep us healthy, and that's what healthy choices are. So hopefully I'll see you soon. Love to hear from you. And when you do put your comments down, I will get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks very much.
Hello and welcome back. We'll just wait for that to play out. Okay, thank you and welcome back. It's me again. I was hoping I will be able to bring Paula on to give a recap of that. But realistically speaking, that was fantastic. I don't know about you, but I mean, this is the first time I actually have sat down to, listen to the whole webinar play out. But I think there are quite a few things that I picked on from Paula there, and it's all about planning, planning, planning. Now, wherever you're watching from, this is Pharmahealth Talk on our webinar series tagged Healthy and Tasty Food Choices on Budget. Now, healthy choices, Paula explained that, fantastically, and the benefits. Yeah, hi, I've got Paula here. Okay.
Hi.
Paula, good to have you here. Good
I
evening.
made it. I'm so sorry
Yeah,
I'm
you
late.
did. Oh, well done. Thank you. I actually didn't know that I was going to be able to get you on. That was brilliant, to be honest with you.
Thank you.
Really enjoyed it. I know you sent it to me, but this is actually the first time that I've had time to listen to it. And honestly, few things that I picked on. You talked about planning, you talked about calories, and you talked about saturated fats. Now, the saturated fats, can you tell us some of the examples of the saturated fats that we need to avoid?
Yeah, we're all afraid of fats, aren't we? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
Okay, great.
I can hear you. Yeah.
We're all afraid of fats, and fats are really, really important for our bodies, okay? Because there are good fats and bad fats. Now, I did actually talk about the good fats like avocados, nuts and seeds, which are so important and add flavor. Oils, olive oils, the fat that we get from fish is really, really important for us because they give us all the omega fats, which they also help transport other vitamins and minerals around our body.
Yeah.
But saturated fats come from things that are fat on bacon, processed meats, cakes, biscuits, anything that is high in sugar as well does not help us because our body doesn't process them really well. Unless you're moving like an elite athlete, we tend to store it. And we tend to store it in the wrong places. And saturated fats, and this is for another time, does not help our cholesterol levels, our LDLs and our HDLs. So the balance in our bodies, which are really, really important. But you could do a whole topic on fats and what it does to our body. But saturated fats are things that are the visible fat. It's the things. Fat makes things taste nice.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean you have to get rid of it. So if you're having a piece of meat or poultry, you can use it because it adds flavor, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you have to eat it.
Okay.
But I'm not saying don't do it all the time, as in don't give it up, but don't eat it every day.
Every day.
I'm a great believer in treat.
Okay.
Things are a treat. A treat should be a treat.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. I also want to believe that a lot of us trying to get our weight down or manage our body weight, a lot of people try to avoid carbs. They think carbohydrate is actually the big killer, that is what actually make everyone, unhealthy. So what can you tell us?
That is a myth.
Yeah.
That is a myth. Carbohydrates are not unhealthy. It's the type of carbohydrates that we eat that make it unhealthy.
Okay.
Whole grains, brown rice, wholemeal are all good carbohydrates.
Okay.
We need it because, as I said at the beginning of my talk, carbohydrates are our first energy source.
Yeah.
So if you want the science behind it, carbohydrate equals glucose, and glucose is sugar. But it is a different type of sugar from the one in cakes or fruits. And we need that to energize and fuel our bodies. Nobody says that you have to eat nothing but carbohydrates. You have to have a balance, but it has to be included in your diet because we need that to actually allow our bodies to function and function well. If you omit carbohydrates, what actually happens is you will actually get really bad mood swings. And those mood swings are due to the fact that your body's not getting enough fuel. And it's trying very, very hard. If you're trying to lose weight, which is another talk I'll be doing, you reduce the amount of carbohydrate. You still have what we call nutrient-dense carbohydrates, and they are the whole grains, food in its whole form. So not white, starchy foods. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fantastic, Paula. Thank you very much for the clarity there. I wherever everyone is watching from, this is Pharma Health Talk with Paula. Paula is a registered nutritionist in the UK, and we've been actually talking about healthy and tasty food choices on budget. Now, this webinar will be on our YouTube channel. It will be on our Facebook platform as well, and link will be on our website. Now, the recipes and will be on our website as well, so you can download, you can print off. I've got copies as well, so if you need, just send me a text or send me email and I will send them to you. Yeah, thank you very much, Paula, for joining. I actually hope that people who have watched today would actually have grabbed something about planning, about budgeting, about making healthy food choices. Now, this whole thing is actually to help our people make informed choices for positive outcome, especially during this period of coronavirus, looking at our immune system and helping, in addition to all the parameters that the government has recommended, despite the fact that we haven't got a vaccine in place yet. Our eldest immune system is very, very important. It is the only thing, it is an asset that we've got, and we've got to keep it, really, really tight. Now,
absolutely.
Yeah.
And
so, yeah, Paula, yeah, you wanted
no,
to.
I was just going to say, our immune system, and I know you've had a chat on it, but if you are eating a balanced, healthy choice with a variety of foods that are all different colors, your immune system will benefit greatly because you are getting all the vitamins and minerals that your body needs.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So that is just it. Immune system will help prevent, so many infectious disease or communicable disease that we have out there. So, guys, our time is up, and I want to thank you, Paula, for taking the time to join me in the studio for
Absolutely.
this. Yeah.
Sorry,
So,
I was late.
it's all right. So the next webinar is actually in January. I hope you have a wonderful holiday. I know you're traveling, you're going away, but I mean, that will be in January anyway. Hopefully you will be back by then to actually be able to, come on to the studio like this. Hopefully.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Love to. And
Yeah.
I will see you in January then.
Yeah, I will
So
do.
have a lovely, and look, if anybody's got any questions, if they've got anything specifically they want to talk to me about, just if they send them to you, and then I'll get in contact with you and we'll go through it that way.
Definitely. I will do that. I will do that. So I'll leave you to go, Paula. Have a wonderful
Thank you.
evening. Yeah,
all right,
thank you.
bye.
Bye, bye,
Bye.
bye, bye. So thank you everyone that has connected to us this evening. This is Pharma Health Talk. Like I said, we use collaborative approach in actually bringing information out to you out there. We've just had Paula Mohin, a registered nutritionist, who's talked to us about healthy and tasty food choices. Now, our next webinar will be in January. And so, guys, you probably will get notification on our wall on Facebook, telling you how or when this is coming up in January. I think January the 6th or thereabout, but it's going to be a Saturday. So tune in and help us share this video wherever you're watching from. Thank you, and have a wonderful evening all. Bye. God bless you. Bye.